Big up, people. Big up, big up. We are back and we are live right now after a Villa win, an absolute Villa crushing of Forest 4-0 to move on into Europa. You move on to the Europa final, where they'll have to take on Freiburg, which is a team or a location in Germany that I just learned about, being on the eastern portion of
No,
Germany, I believe.
Western side.
Western side, okay, western
Mm-hmm.
side. And yeah, it's a pretty wild one that we would say is what it is, because at least we don't have to listen to some of the Forest fans that are a little bit over the top when it comes to some of their rhetoric and things that they like to speak on. So we're good to go. Hope that you're good to go. And JK, how are you?
I'm all good, bro. It's been a mad few days of football and that. Didn't really start off great for us on Sunday and that. And then Man City messed it up. And then fucking Arsenal won. And then, you know what I mean? It's been going like pooky or thingy. So hopefully this weekend we do a job on Chelsea and West Ham do a job on Arsenal. We can all pray, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's certainly the truth. Certainly true. Um, what did you think of
But
the
fair
Villa
play.
game?
Yeah, like I was saying, with Gibbs White not playing made a major difference, bro. It's like, say, not playing with Szoboszlai this season, for example, we would have been not so great, you know what I mean? I think Szoboszlai was probably our man of the match last week against United.
Mm-hmm.
Gibbs White missing today made a big difference, bro. I think if he was fit and ready to go, it wouldn't have been a
Mm-hmm.
4-0 for me. I like Gibbs White. I reckon we should have a look at him, man. We need a bit of that in our midfield, you know what I mean? But hopefully he gets better. His face don't look great. Pretty bad, actually.
Oh man, he looked pretty messed up.
That's like a couple of 10 points and had a fight with the bouncer at the club, you know what I mean? That's one of them ones. Yeah.
Let me double check on this one too. Some breaking Real Madrid news. Real Madrid announced that following the events that took place this morning, the club has decided to open disciplinary procedures against the players of Valverde and Tuchemeni. The club will announce the outcome of both cases in due course once the corresponding internal procedures have been completed. What is that all about?
Yeah. I'm surprised they let that news leave the club, you know what I mean? Yeah, not great, that ain't. It's gonna happen, isn't it? Everyone's on adrenaline. They're all professional footballers, full of fire. They're gonna have arguments sometimes. It happens, bro.
Yeah. I would love to have Valverde at the team. I think Valverde's a class as a
Top
really
player.
top player. Yeah.
Add him and Gibbs White to our team, we're sorted.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a bad addition, to say the least. Wouldn't be a that bad addition at all.
But they were more unlikely let Tchouaméni leave than Valverde. I tell you that truth now.
Yeah, I think so. I think also Tuchemeni would be more likely to want to leave than Valverde, just simply because of the cultural exchange.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that Valverde, being in a Spanish-speaking culture or coming from a Spanish-speaking culture, would like to probably stay in those elements, possibly.
Yeah.
Big up to Hi Laura. I see you in the chat. Big up to you. Big up.
Evening. Mm-hmm.
Evening. He's saying so that Aston Villa will change our schedule for fixtures. Yep, it will.
Next Friday, then, yeah.
Yeah, we are on for next Friday. that will
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, Helio. They might not go all out against us, thinking, look, we've got a final coming up. Let's not
right.
OTT it. So it's a blessing in disguise for me.
But we thought the same for Crystal Palace too, though. I mean, Crystal Palace had a big game coming up in the Conference League, and they chose to still go very strong against us as opposed to, heavily going different with their lineups. But who knows? You're right. Who knows? It certainly would make a lot more sense for them to do so. It certainly would make a lot more sense.
That's why we got to win Saturday. So they feel like, oh, we ain't going to catch them. You know what I mean? That sort of feeling.
Yeah, there is a bunch of cases. Let's speak to you on this, and you can answer in the chat too. There was a Sky Sports that had a segment asking which team would be best suited for Kylian Mbappe, and it was interesting. I've seen a lot more of this, a lot more of the, I guess, interest towards Mbappe maybe moving on from Real Madrid. And it was being Charlie Austin, I believe, was his name. I think it's his name, Charlie Austin, had this to say. He said something on the lines of that he'd be a perfect Mohamed Salah replacement. I don't know if he'd be a perfect Mohamed Salah replacement, but he would certainly be a replacement to Mohamed Salah in the sense of status or kit appeal, I guess you'd call it, But beyond that, I don't know if he would necessarily. I don't think that he would bring the same attributes as, or all the same attributes as a Mohamed Salah does to a team. Not saying that he's worse or better than Mohamed Salah, just saying that he has different attributes that are more in his locker than Salah has in his locker, or different attributes that are in his locker. I'll say it that way, not more, but just certainly different. Do you agree with that, though? Do you agree that Kylian Mbappe would be a good fit at Liverpool?
I think he's a quality player. He is good. Come on, you know what I mean? Thing is now, Real Madrid is the top shelf. You know what I mean? And there's some noise around him recently. I've heard they're not winning nothing this season. That's a bit strange for them. They're not winning FA Cup, League, or Champions League. And Alonso came in, went. So there's a lot of noise around Madrid. When you think they brought in Trent, and you're thinking, wow, they're going to be great now, you know what I mean? But they haven't been really. So Mbappe is probably thinking, is this like, I've been playing my heart out, getting goals, and this is the thanks I get? So the players, I feel, need that respect from the fans. You know what I mean? For them to play their best and feel at home. As soon as I feel that disrespect from the fans, a lot of them go off their game, bro. So for me, Mbappe for Liverpool, of course, it's a no-brainer for me. Top player.
Oh wow, too. Valverde suffered a traumatic brain injury and will miss El Clasico. The tests carried out today on the player by the Real Madrid Medical Services has been diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury. Valverde is at home in good condition and will need to rest for 10 to 14 days as per protocols for the diagnosis.
Yeah, something like he fell or something like that. Yeah, so there must have been some beef there.
Yeah, he had a fight with Tuchemeni, apparently.
Yeah.
And they're making the decision that they're going to, they could make a decision as early as, this week to put Tuchemeni on the chopping block, I guess you say, or on the transfer table. Do you think Tuchemani is a player that you would want? I mean, look, hearing a player have that kind of reaction, or have that kind of incident occur, I get that sometimes things heat up in the locker rooms, and you could have situations that cooler heads you hope prevail, but do you want to bring a player that could be a volatile player that obviously um, could erupt into issues and problems?
That's the thing nowadays, bro, with the footballers. Actually, since day one, it's been like that. Are you going to have trouble with the actual player? Um, I don't know about that one. That's the thing. That's why we need a strong manager. Like a Jurgen Klopp would look after Mbappe, no problem for me. There'd be
Hmm.
no drama there, you know what I mean? So it all
Hmm.
depends on the manager, bro. Is he strong enough to handle these big personalities, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's he's got a lot of Bollywood about him, you know what I mean? Bollywood, Hollywood about him.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
He knows he's one of the best players in the world, and he's probably got a big ego. Yeah, but see how football is nowadays. As soon as you don't win anything in the year, it's like, oh, the whole world's falling apart, you know what I mean, and stuff. Yeah, we ain't had a great season, but I'm not gonna cry like a baby about it, because next season will be here just down the road, bro. The World Cup will come and go, and bang, 2 3 weeks later, the season starting again. So for me, we were gonna get our ship in order and sort this manager situation out. For me, I'm taking Alonso tomorrow. Some guy who's got a football brain, some guy who might just do things differently. What we've done this season. This season for me has been pretty bad. So we want a manager who can handle big personalities. It's important when you manage a big club. It don't matter how good your tactics are. If your personality can't handle other personalities that are cocky and cheeky and think they're the bee's knees, you're gonna get in fucking trouble.
Yeah, yeah. Mbappe hasn't won a has he won a Champions League with Real Madrid?
PSG won it last year. They're not winning it this year. Real Madrid. Who won it before PSG? He might have won one, bro. I'm not sure. I bet Helio knows.
Yeah, I'm
Bless up,
sure he
Lone
does.
Sheep. Bless up, Lone
Big up,
Sheep.
Lone Sheep. Good, big up, big up. Um, because he's not really winning much, which is what was going to be, or was supposedly going to be, the very similar to like our situation. Not necessarily similar in that they had massive injuries and they had a serious fall off. I meant just that um, similar in the pretense that they ended up um, not ascending to the heights of what they were expected to make.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah.
I know. I agree with what Helio's writing about watching them two games, the PSG Bayern games and stuff. They showed you how football should be done. Like, look at the way PSG played defensively against Munich, man, in that second leg. Pure discipline. Pure, I'm playing for this manager. Kvaratskhelia said it himself. If you don't run, you're going to be on the subs bench. Simple as
Mhm.
that. Simple as that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In Arnie Stott's team, if you run, you're on the subs bench. It's the other way fucking around. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Luis Enrique must be the best manager on the planet.
I like
Um,
him. The way he's got his
yeah,
team in order. You know what I mean? There's a lot of personalities there as well. And he's got them fucking in order. Wicked. Yeah, man, fair play to him.
yeah, yeah. He's got his team in order, and He knew what he wanted with the team, by being able to say which players he was willing to let go. Some people were saying that it was going to be his mistake in letting some of the talent that he let go move on, but obviously that wasn't the case. It's a bunch of different things though that you have to really put together.
Like the PSG project, they had Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi up top, and they couldn't win the Champions League. That's a big. It's a. You don't really need superstars to win. That was what I learned from that. You need top players who are going to be willing to put it in and get the job done.
Yeah. Speaking of Real Madrid, there was a report that said Mohamed Salah is keen to continue playing at the very top level in Europe once his time at Liverpool comes to an end. Real Madrid are currently one of the clubs in the race to sign the Egyptian superstar.
Well, yeah, he could do a year there, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could.
He could. He would probably smash it as well.
What I find interesting, there was a report that came out that said that Bayern Munich, this is a report that was released on Sky Sports an hour ago, that Bayern Munich have opened talks with Newcastle over a potential summer move for Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, I heard about that about a month ago.
Do you think that's a smart move? And what does that say? What does that say for, when Lucho's got a long-term deal, Elise's got does it say something about the fact that maybe there's more into this talk about Elise having a release clause and trying to make some type of coverage? I don't know if it means pushing Lucho to the right side and have Gordon play the left, or if Gordon plays the right and Lucho plays the left. But
when you looked at Bayern subs bench yesterday, it wasn't great. So he'll be a squad player for me, Gordon. But I've heard Bayern need to sell. I watched a little video. I didn't get time to watch it all, but the statement was Bayern need to sell. So when you look at their players, Upamecano, he's going to leave. He's on a free. He's rubbish anyway. I don't know. He's a professional, man. Michael Jackson will probably go back to Chelsea. Diaz will stay, of course. Musiala will stay, of course. Get fitter and that. So it's all about Elise. If Elise goes, but I can't really see Elise going, bro. You must be loving life there. You know what I mean? It's top quality life in Munich. Food, air, everything's great in that way. Yeah, the air there is beautiful.
Okay. It's interesting.
It's a different level of life there in Bayern. They're really I want to say snobby, but they're just into that high quality of life, and that's good.
Have you heard of this player here? I'm going to bring up some of these players. Bring up some of these image file. Share my screen. Have you heard of this player right here? His name is Victor Froholt. Have you heard of this player? Have you heard of this player by any chance? He played for FC Porto. He's a Danish player.
Yeah. Victor. Victor. That's a proper 1920 sort of name in England. Hi, my name's Victor. I don't know anything about this lad, bro.
He's a 52 million pound player, or at least that's what he's a midfielder. About 52 million is what they're looking to see. Maybe there's a release clause. 73 million is his release clause. 73 million pounds. That is not euros, pounds, by the way.
Who is he? Messi?
I have no idea.
Who the fuck is this guy? He's costing that much. Come on.
He's got 32 games played. He's got 6 goals and 6 assists. And he's played in the Europa League. He's had 1 goal and 1 assist in the Europa League. That's his stats from this year. And you're talking about 52 million, 73 million. It's why when I was on Fan Zone with Reese and KJ and Dean, and we're getting into these conversations about these players, and this keep thinking outside the box, thinking about players that we'd love to see. Where none of us are ITKs, but we'd all love to see maybe come to Liverpool or be at least in our radar for pursuing. Um, so now we're back to clever signings, says Lone Sheep. He's 20 years old. He is apparently a decent player for FC Porto. He's very talented. Um, there's another player too. Let me see if I can find the other player that's on the top of my head.
Where does his brother play? Which position?
He plays in the midfield. I know
Yeah, he
that.
looks like midfield.
I'll pull up his exact position.
Mhm.
Um,
Bless
give
up,
one
Red
sec.
Armchair. That'd be cool, bro.
Um, uh, there's another player too, and he plays for. I think he plays for FC Porto as well. Yeah, his name is. Let me pull up this player too for you guys and see if you guys have an idea of who this player is, because I did hear about. I just heard about this this today. That was this rumor about this player today. And why it was interesting is because it's FC Porto. We've obviously have a relationship with FC Porto as well. Is saying Hyler says just a year ago bought from Denmark. And if we don't buy ready players, then there's no way Arnie Slot is going to develop them to the right standards. Lone Sheep says, just get me a number 6. Everything else couldn't
Simple as.
happen after.
Yeah, I agree with that. Get me a number 6, man. Get me an out-and-out number 6 who don't mess about, who gives Virgil van Dijk and whoever he's going to partner with him some security. We've been opening like a 24-hour petrol station this season, bro. You know what I mean? Never closes. We were fucking open, man. Casado, when he ran through us and scored that goal, I was like, this is not going to be great this season. And that happened a while ago, you know what I mean? So we've got to get revenge against them guys this Saturday.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to put a definitely I want to see some strong tackles put in and to leave a message. There's this player right here too. That's FC Porto. That's lost connection. I don't know. Hopefully you can see it because it says a lost connection. But this player right here, his name is Oscar Pietaszewski. Pietaszewski.
Is he Polish?
He is Polish. He is a winger. He is very, very young in the sense that he's 17 years old. But he does play for FC Porto. He's about like 5'10". He's not a tall guy, but he is a talented little young player. When I saw the thing about the other I just showed before this, Victor Froholt, and now this other player from Porto, who's a player I did see us possibly be interested in. Now, this player is a winger. He's not a midfielder. He's a winger. 17. Yeah, I don't know what they're I think that maybe they're not looking at it as Arnie Slot being the player or being the personnel manager to develop these players. I think they're looking at it as an opportunity for just the overall system of Liverpool to be able to develop these players into better players. Youth Academy alone is a really incredible asset that we have as being a conveyor belt to get these players into the levels of being able to play either at Liverpool or elsewhere. But it was interesting. I saw this name. Obviously, FC Porto isn't a team that many of us watch, but it's just the sheer fact that, you know, some of these players are just as as you're noticing, some of these players are being coveted by possible stock. I don't know if it's stockpiling young talent, if we're doing this whole like Chelsea action where they, Chelsea just basically buys young talent, they stockpile, they try to basically capitalize on players having, Chelsea being attached to their name now, and then further trying to move on in getting, double, triple, quadruple, whatever the money is or likes. So, any interest, any idea who this player is? You have any idea?
Not really, bro. No.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm. I saw you were talking about Morgan Gibbs White. This was certainly, that is nasty. There is absolutely no reason why he should be on the bench after that.
That's bad.
That's
like Mike Tyson, some brother going in the ring with Mike Tyson after the first round, bro. That looks like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who we're talking about here? Mtar Mizzy in the house. Big up to Mtar Mizzy.
That's what, man.
If you don't, please do check out his Substack. I gotta make Mtar Mizzy, if you can leave us a comment after the show, so I can make you a mod. That way you can put in your your video links and your links to your Substacks when you join us. I know it's a major time difference and the likes, but hopefully you can do that so we can help with each other. He's talking about the Mika Gats. He's a Belgian player. I know that. 30 matches. He's having an excellent year. Holy crap. 30 matches, 17 goals, 11 assists.
Wow.
Not bad.
I like Gibbs White there. I reckon Gibbs White missing today made Forest win that easier than they might have. But fair play to him. He's done well, Gibbs White. Hopefully he'll get better from this. That looks not great, you know what I mean?
Arsenal are very interested in this player. Looks like Bayern Munich are interested in this player. Barcelona are interested in this player. £65 million is apparently the reported price for tag for this Belgian, not for Morgan Gibbs White, obviously, but for this Belgian player that I'm speaking on. Let me see if I can get you a picture on him. Let me see if I can do this one. What is Lone Sheep? He says he buys Mika on EFC. Okay, EAFC. He's that good of a player, huh? I don't have him on my radar. I don't play EAFC. I play Football Manager. I'm playing a video game that is football related. But here is the player that he's talking about. This is the Mika guy. Mika,
that's a proper Indian name, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think of that Ajax jersey right there? I think that's Ajax jersey. Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wild, huh?
Yeah, man. That's too much going on, that is. That's to mess up the eyes of the opposition so they win.
Yeah. To get them feeling wavy. Feeling wavy on that one. But yeah, he does look like a good player. Looks like a good player. I'll have to put I'll put a special note on that one, Mtar Mizzy, and try to give a look as to what is going on with that player. Let's see. There was some talk about me see if I have this area, this little thing for you guys. Um, um, hold on a second. Well, that's something about Ian Rush. He's gotten himself into a little bit of controversy. Real Madrid training grounds. Oh, there was talk about the ticket prices. Liverpool have officially revised their ticket pricing plan. There was talk about how the club confirmed a 3% increase for next season, but announced a freeze for the following campaign after supporter backlash and protests around Anfield. Honestly, this was an inevitable change because despite what people think, look, these owners do listen to the fans more than you think. Some ownerships don't, some ownerships do. This isn't the first time that there's been some type of outcry by the fans, and there's been preliminary return from the club in answering in one way or another, whatever it was, the issue or problem. I hope people already feel squeezed. Look, trust me, everyone is feeling squeezed in the world for various reasons. Um, the amount it costs to fill up my tank, for instance, and gas these days is absolutely ridiculous. And unfortunately, those decisions are made by people that I do not have a say in telling elsewise. But the people are Reds that go to the matches that are in the area of Liverpool have made their voices loud and clear, and it looks like it has gotten them some type of reprieve or some type of answer to their issues. Because football has to be about community, it has to be about promoting the essence of what football is, and that is the fans. Without the fans, we know what football looks like without the fans. During the pandemic, we saw what football is with fans. It is lifeless, and it is something that I don't want to see. So shout out to those that fought for it, and shout out to those that got their result that they did. Speaking of results, there's this result that happened this recently. Darwin Nunez is reportedly open to returning to the Premier League after a disastrous spell with Al Hilal. And I say disastrous in the sense of the way that Al Hilal has gone about in the treatment of Darwin Nunez. I think that it's also a wake-up call to some of the people that want, or some of these players that want to go to the Saudi Arabian League, because they have a certain number or limit of international players they can have on their rosters. And we've seen it happen to numerous players. Bobby Firmino actually had something very similar happen to him, where he was, part of the roster, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of the season, when it came to playing in their version of the Champions League, he didn't find himself on the roster anymore. I think that this story is somewhat sad and unbelievable to see what happens, because 12 months ago, he was sold to Saudi Arabia, and now he's barely playing due to league squad regulations, and already looking for a way back to the Premier League. I will say that this is a unique situation because some of these types of Darwin's play, despite him not being the answer to us always in goal scoring, his play in the sense of his heart, his determination, his runs, his physicality, so many things on the checklist, I believe, that are important. He absolutely represented. And it is an interesting case that he is now being mentioned as a player because he's going to be a free agent, by the way. He is now going to be possibly a player that could be involved in a return, maybe not to this color, this particular kit, with that particular badge at least. He could be on his way to a team like a Chelsea, and that is wild to hear. Absolutely wild to hear. Chelsea, there was I think Newcastle possibly could were interested in his services at one point. It's wild. I can't see my Darweezy in a different Premier League kit other than Liverpool. It would be very sad to see. Very, very sad to see. How do you feel about it out there? And how do you feel about it, JK?
Not happy, bro. I don't want him to play for no Premier League team, man. Yeah, but for me, he was sort of needed this season. Why Isaac weren't there? Salah's been injured and that. Ekatike's injured now. Like Darwin Nunez would have just run and caused a bit of stress for the opposition. We've been too nice this season. He brought something different to the club. You know what I mean? To the pitch.
Big up to the Unscripted Sports Show. Big up, big up.
Big up, man.
Yeah, it would hurt. It would hurt. It'd be very similar. It would be very similar to me, at least, to seeing, if he were to go choose Chelsea, at least, to seeing El Nino play for Chelsea. That hurt a lot, considering I know you're not a big El Nino fan, but I was. I really do love myself some El Nino. So, yes, they've had 12 managers now since Klopp. That is crazy.
Crazy.
That is absolutely crazy. 12 managers since love it Jurgen Klopp took the reins. Unscripted Sports Show says that he thinks Darwin would actually fit at Chelsea. I think he'd be a better fit at Newcastle. I agree with that.
I think Newcastle's pitch, because it's big, he would run into that space all the time. Bang. Chelsea's a tight pitch. There's not going to be that much space for him to run into. Yeah,
and that despite the fact that the Geordies definitely don't have any love for Darwin, considering he came on that one particular day and had possibly his best ever performance for Liverpool, actually. Getting those 2 goals to rescue us in a game where we were down a man. We were absolutely being beaten and battered in that game by a very physical Newcastle that was hungry to get a win. I think they were up 1-0 at the time too. And
10 men.
10 men, and Darwin came in and rescued the day. Rescued the day. And some of us appreciate those things. Some of us, I know a good majority of the chat does, but some of us don't. I know that. I know some people just don't care. They just don't care. They are on some Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately status. Oh, man. There's a little bit of a dated reference, I'm sure. They used to relish singing. Yes. Yeah, they did. They did. And that's the thing about it is Andy Carroll he played for Newcastle, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I just don't get it. I think he would do well. I think that a player like him is what Newcastle is lacking. But then again, this I spoke on this, and I spoke on this at with Dean and the crew. How do you feel about this? And I'll ask this to the chat. We've got like about 20 people in the chat here. Nice little late night session here. Newcastle has to sell players. They are in a position where they have to sell players. There is a particular player on their team who loves Liverpool and is very unhappy with his current status at Newcastle. He, I think, would be a good player to bring in, considering that we're going to need a player in that striker role. I know some people, I know that most likely will be stuck with Cody Gakpo playing that role. I'm not saying stuck as in like he's terrible at it, but more so stuck with Cody Gakpo in the sense of it's not his preferred position. He wants to play out in the wing position. So with that said, would it be wild to say, and those two players aren't the players I'm asking about? Would it be wild to see us go for Walter Made? He was a 65 million pound acquisition for them. It is being reported that Newcastle is willing to take a loss on selling Walter Made only a year since buying him. It is a weird situation to hear, to say the least, because I think he's a decent player. I don't know about you, but I think he's a decent player. I just think that he's just unfortunately in a very similar situation to what we have currently, and that is having a coach that doesn't really correlate getting the most out of the player.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Look, for me, I like him. Him and Wirtz work well together for Germany. A few games I've watched them. Good little player, bro. He supports Liverpool. Loves Liverpool, actually. Maybe you were just saying that to get the move to Liverpool later on, and that, you know what I mean. But all in all, he's a goal scorer, bro. Newcastle haven't used him right. I'll take him, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a situation where I think that he would be just so blessed, or consider himself so blessed to be playing for a team. And also, I think he does have a relationship with Ekitike and some of the other Bundesliga players and the likes. But I think that he would have such a sense of, this is maybe a opportunity to have a rebirth of my career here in the Premier League. This could be an opportunity, not only that, to be able to make the most of a situation, considering that he isn't obviously a player that is he's not going to be, he wouldn't start over Isak, but all the same, he could look at it as an opportunity to be a player that could offer you some type of return, the same type of return that you saw from Ekitike. He's tall, he's I won't say lanky, but tall, and has an ability to score the goals. This guy was Newcastle player of the month, the first month of the season, and then slowly but surely he got conditioned out of being their go-to man. I think it's a power move to throw it at Newcastle. Because the player one would be pushing towards. I don't think he doesn't have nearly the type of pull and resolve that Isak had in trying to hold out and get his move out of there. But you don't want a disgruntled player. I'll tell you, when I saw think back with me real quick, and big up to Nalante joining us as well, by the way.
Bless up, Nancy.
Yeah, big up 12, big up JK, big up everyone
Easy,
in the
man.
chat as always.
I'll ask you to reflect back with me to Champions League, Newcastle in Champions League. There at the time, I want to say Gordon had the goal, already had his hat trick. Okay, because he'd gotten a goal, they'd gotten another penalty previous to that, so he already had his goals. I want to say it was Trippier because I think that's who their captain is. Their captain, whoever was their captain at the time, though, steps in, says, "Give the ball to Walter Mate, let him take this penalty kick." And Gordon says, "No."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Trippier's like, this is our teammate. He needs, he's on I won't say horrific run, but he's on a bad run of games of not being able to score. He's playing in the midfield, not even playing as a striker any longer, playing in the midfield. And Gordon says, "Nah, I'm good. I'll take it for my fourth goal."
Yeah, that's what it was. Not good.
Not good.
Even Salah used to give Bobby goals, penalties or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Oh, it shows it's one of the reasons why I think Gordon's a garbage player, I think, personally. But I mean, like, talented player all the same. Not saying he doesn't have power and pace and all that other stuff, but I just think he's kind of not my flavor of tea or a cup of tea, right? Simply because, like, I can remember the time when Mohamed Salah, who was our penalty taker, for instance, I remember when he could have gone on and scored and taken the penalty and gotten the goal, sure. But what did he do? Turned to Bobby and said, take the ball. You take the kick. You're on 2 goals, you're on a brace, you go for your hat trick.
Simple.
That's called teamwork. That's called being a quality teammate. I absolutely just despise that, but it just shows you what Gordon is. The same player that tried to trip Trent Alexander-Arnold in the game that we had against Newcastle that time when Trent fell out of bounds, and then he tried to get a quick throw in, and he ends up trying to trip up Trent so he couldn't throw the ball in. That's the kind of player that you want at your team? No. But all the same, Walter Mate, tell me what your thoughts are. Would you think that he'd be a good player to bring in, give him like a 2-year contract, allow for him to get because he's going to have a whole full year to be either the backup, if not, depending on Isak's track record with staying healthy, could be our starter for some games. What do you feel about that?
Nalante?
That's an easy answer, no. That's a hard no for me. Last season's good. I mean, I have never really been a fan. He's a decent player. He started well. He's just got off the spot, and I get it for a TK, but no, not for me. No.
Who are you if you don't go for that kind of player? Then who are you going for? If you're trying to bring the striker,
you don't. To be honest, you don't go. I don't think you go with anyone. You go with I think you go with a winger / forward to cover, because he'll be back. What we say early next year? Because if we get a forward now, then I mean, unless it's a loan, like a Tony, then it's no point, because you sign him and then he's within 6 months he's going to be on the bench. So it's just be a waste of a signing.
in 6 months, but we see.
Well, 2 year, but he's not going to be. He's going to be relegated straight to the bench when Isak and Hugo there. What are you going to do with him then? That's the thing.
Well, by
We'll play.
then you would have possibly, if we were able to bring him in, and let's say hypothetically, one, there's no guarantee that TK comes back and is the player that we've seen before. But I'm hoping that he is, and we all wish and pray that he will be. But as insurance, if you have a player like Walter Mate who is capable of scoring, capable of being a target when it comes to set pieces because of his height and the likes, and you have a player now that you could raise the you could possibly get your money, you could possibly make money off of him simply by raising his, allowing for him to have playing time at a club like Liverpool, playing in the Champions League, playing in obviously playing in other tournaments for us. But you could take a $50 million. I'm not saying we pay 65, but to pay 50 million for a player like him would be, I think, would be a good insurance policy, because you can most likely allow for him to he wouldn't move him on in January simply because Ekitike comes back. Ekitike is not going to all of a sudden just hit the ground running from an Achilles. It just doesn't happen that way.
But he's not going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that, Toph, but he's not going to be. He's not actually going to be fair choice, is he? Regardless of the Achilles thing, automatically will automatically be third in the pecking order.
No, Ekitike? No, I don't think so. But I get what you're saying. I know.
And plus, he's not good enough.
I rate him. Maybe that's rate him, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Like what Hyla said here, I agree with. I don't think we need another attacker. An adaptable attacker base, not locked. That's what we need. Another striker, no, because again, regardless of what Hugo comes in, comes out, he's going to be 6 months to a year, maybe max. We'll just put 6 months to a year max, 2027. So a year, and he's going to be that striker. He's going to be fair choice. So do we really need it? There's no point signing them, and then they're going to be put to the punch.
I just think that sometimes you'd be surprised what players will do when they're given the opportunity, especially if they're given the dream opportunity that Walter Mate would have by playing here at Liverpool. I think that you offer a player the opportunity to not only show, but a player that's going to go through brick walls to try to impress. There are some players that just feel entitled. I don't think he would feel entitled by coming to Liverpool. I think he would work his butt off. And if it meant him playing a year, if not two, as a second or third choice, then so be it. But he'd work his butt off and be happy to do so simply because he's wearing that badge, I think. But that's just my opinion.
No, fair enough. But I don't think he's good enough anyway, to be honest. I just don't think he's good enough for us, regardless of whether we should put him in the squad or not for us. So, I mean, I hear it. I hear it, Toph. That's what you feel, but regardless, he's just not going to come anyway. If he does this, he's not coming to us.
I mean, I don't think Darwin was a slow player, by the way. He says,
no, Darwin's got pace. He's got pace.
The Lone Sheep says he's good with slow players. He says that was Darwin. We had that. I'm like, I don't agree with that at all.
No, Lone Sheep. No. Darwin wasn't slow. Darwin definitely wasn't slow.
Darwin was one of our fastest players on our team.
Yeah, he was quick. Well, rapid quick, but he was quick.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being fast and being quick. I think you can be quick as in like you have quick acceleration, but I mean, there's some players that are just fast. Once they get up, it's the same thing as
only quick, but yeah.
Like it's like some players. It's like what was it? I was we were in. For instance, I was with my friend. He has like a new Corvette, right? And the person in one of the other people in our party is driving a Tesla, and the Tesla is fast. Okay, it's quick. Its acceleration is like there's no gear, so it accelerates and it moves. But that Corvette is fast. And once the Corvette goes through the gears, it will pass a Tesla. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those cases. That's I'm just making that comparison of analogy.
No, don't sheep didn't mean Darwin slow. He meant what made her is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What made it for me, I like him. He's got a good attitude. And when you look at next season, we're gonna have one striker. Salah's gone, so we've got next season Isaac and Gakpo up top as our attacking options. We've got to build on that. So for me, 2 wingers, and you could chuck in a third striker. Walter Maida, you could chuck him in there because look all the games we've had.
Yeah. Tell me.
The guy just sneezed.
Tell me how many games.
Wow.
Look at how many games we've had this season where we've had two strikers on our bench as options.
For me, I prefer Darwin Nunes.
You can count them on. You can probably count them on your hands. You can probably count them on one hand, if not maybe 2.
But look at the stats on the TV there. 9 games started, 6 goals scored. He was getting into it. I don't know what the hell the Newcastle manager was thinking when he started dropping him and trying to bring in Wissa, and then he ended up playing Gordon up top.
They're about to do. They're going to do the same with Wissa this year. The Wissa is going to be apparently moved on from too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Crazy. You know, it's Newcastle, isn't it? Pressure, isn't it? Just unfortunately, both him and Watermade, it just hasn't happened.
Just happened. But I like Watermade. If we got him in, fair play, I wouldn't moan. I think he's got a good attitude.
Here's something. I'll bring something to the table here that can maybe unify us. Maybe something we can all have fun with. Okay, how about that? All right. In the chat, I'm going to ask you to give your selections for the scenario I'm going to present, and then obviously the panel will give their scenarios of who and why they've chosen who they want to be a part of their selections. I saw this and I was like very intrigued because I do love some of these players immensely. What if you could bring back and make a midfield for us? What would be your 3 midfielders you would bring back to be in your midfield from these 9 selections? You have to make up your 9 selections. Obviously, don't pick 3 DMs or don't pick or something like that. Make it make sense. But if you want to make it make sense in the sense of pick 3 DMs, then explain why you're going with that at least.
Okay, who's going first with the choice then? Nalante, you chose?
Yes. Let Nalante go first.
Fab, Gerard, and Genie.
Okay.
Who'd you say? Fab, Gerard, and Genie?
Fab, Gerard, and Genie. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Elio's gone Fabinho, Gerard, Alonso.
Yeah.
Interesting. 12. Who are you going with, bro?
Oh, I'm the host, so I go last. You go ahead.
Mind games. Mind games. In other words, he hasn't made his mind up yet.
Right?
Okay. You know who I'm going with?
Go on, Joe.
And they're all healthy, by the way. They're all healthy. So
yeah, all fit. Yeah.
All healthy. Not that he can't play or
he was never fit and all that.
All fit, all healthy.
Okay, I'm going Steven Gerrard, of course.
Okay.
Thiago.
Okay.
And Jordan Henderson.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Very, very, very interesting.
You never thought that I would pick that one, would you?
I didn't.
Thiago's one of my favorite ever players. I just love. He's a great coach. He's going to be a great coach. Love to bring him in. Yeah, he talks the right. I listened to a few little things he's done. I'm like, yo. this is the guy, man. He's great. You know, I always liked him
Mhm.
when he played at Bayern and that. Yeah,
Let's
so that's my
see.
midfield.
Let's see. Lone Sheep said um, Alonso, Gerard, and Javier. Mascherano.
Midfield was in, yeah.
It's a good shout. It's a very good shout. The Unscripted Sports Show says, obviously, the Captain G, Mr. Gerard, Alonso, and Fab. Okay. Okay.
Like when I
That's
look at
good.
my players, like Gerrard won the Champions League for us, Henderson won the Premier League and a Champions League, and Thiago always won everything wherever he went.
Mhm.
So they're all winners, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's really good.
Full top row, assuming Coutinho. This is what Shiva's saying. Full top row, assuming Coutinho never goes injury prone. Hyler says number 6, Fabinho, Alonso, the best passer of the ball, and central midfield, Steven Gerrard, the most versatile midfielder ever and the best. Okay. I could be. The thought I had was, I would bring out something very, very controversial, but then I would get absolutely mobbed if I did say what I said. I'm
You're
going.
gonna say Charlie Adams, weren't you?
Yeah,
Jay Spearing, Charlie Adams, Jay Spearing, and
exactly.
James Milner.
And John Joe Shelby.
Oh God.
I would go with my midfield being Felipe, Thiago, and it's tough because I know people will. Stevie G should be on every list, and he would be. He would be.
You don't want to be controversial now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be
Go on, who is
controversial,
it?
Who is it?
and I'm gonna say Mascherano.
Oh wow.
Okay. Felipe Thiago Mascherano. Interesting.
Good. Yeah,
I
interesting.
would love Stevie G to be on my team, and I'm not saying that Steven Gerrard doesn't make every team I pick. Don't get it twisted, but with the way I would love to see it be, maybe would be like Thiago and Coutinho maybe as the 2 8s, and then have Mascherano as that lone 6. Oh, that would be.
Yeah, it could work, you know.
Oh, that would be
Combinations in midfield. When they have the
that would
ball.
be wild. That'd be really, really wild.
I was tempted.
Of course,
I was
Stevie G
tempted-
would be there too.
I was tempted to go Thiago, Coutinho, Gerrard. I was tempted.
That midfield isn't even 6 foot if you stack them up on top of each other. Yes, that's true. That's true. But they are all heart and they are techie, to say the least. They would be techie players. I like how you gave Jenny some love there. Did you show Jenny love? What's this?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with any of the choices. Exactly.
No, they're all different in their capacity, isn't it? Yeah. Shout out to their unreal legend, James Milner.
Yeah, it's cool seeing Milner make the.
Okay, I've got a question for you. Okay, you got for the game against Chelsea on Saturday. You could pick one midfielder to put in our midfield for that game. Who are you taking?
Oh,
Everyone.
yeah, right.
I'm taking Milner,
taking.
bro. I'm taking Milner. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking Milner. There you go.
No, I'm only joking. I would take Steven Gerrard, bro. That
Yeah,
fire. You know what I mean? Even Henderson, I'll tell you the truth, bro. If we had Henderson on the pitch this season, I tell you right now, we wouldn't be this poor. We've lacked that voice. That you know, in the middle of the park.
Brentford. Yeah.
We should have just told him to come back. Give us a year, bro. Just be the voice on the pitch. Every midfield needs that, you know what I mean?
Who, Henderson?
Yeah, like Henderson's voice. Just like not the greatest player in the world, no doubt, but
Mhm.
he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He knows what to say, what to do, how to put his fight in there, and get stuck in and that. And I like Henderson. I think he was a top guy, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I would say probably, you know what, the truth, if I was going to have to pick one player,
you're gonna pick
Fab's a good
Mascherano.
shout. Fab is a huge shout. I agree with
Mhm.
that. But if I was
Mhm.
picking one player out of these 9, again, Stevie G is obviously the default for everyone, but I would pick Thiago. I think Thiago would be absolutely the one thing we're missing in this team is a player that can pass the ball over, like I think, can pass the ball over segments of the pitch to get to initiate attacks, be able to, start our attacks off. What we're missing is that flair, that passing flair that we got from Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think that
Yeah, yeah.
Thiago is one of the closest things I've ever seen on this team. And you can say Alonso's certainly could be a solid shout too, but I mean, Thiago is one of the closest things that you could see that wherever he wants that ball to go, it's going. Period. I know Thiago. Again, we're not talking about health or his injuries or any of that crap. We're talking about just pure talent. I mean, we got a little bit of taste of it in that in the Legends game where like everyone was just like, this guy, we could probably use him this season.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he played great. He played great.
Madness.
That goal against Porto in the Champions League, he didn't touch the ground, bro. That for me was just pure magic. Like this guy, man. I just wish we got him 10 years younger. He would have been what a player, man. He gets stuck in as well. He's a proper he played the 6 role as well a little bit. You know what I mean? He weren't like a how do I say it? Like a princess footballer. He actually got stuck in. You know what I mean? And that's what we're lacking midfield. You know, when you look at our midfield situation right now, any of them guys would improve our midfield right now. Every single one of them.
Yeah, they're all none of them are legends in their own right for our teams. Yeah,
he had some bite loan sheet, man.
But oh man, could you imagine? I mean, you don't even have to even. Would you stay with? I don't even know if you have to stay with a pivot if you had like a player like Thiago in it. I mean, but you could make him like your regista and like have him just be like anchored, where he's just pinging passes and you're allowing for your wing backs to actually bomb forward because he could hit them on the runs, he could hit forwards on the runs. Like you're just saying, just go out there and just create, just do your Thiago-esque type stuff. That's all I would ask. And Thiago did have a little bite to him. He didn't mind getting into a tackle. That's true.
Yeah. He didn't mind, bro. And for me, if he just stayed fit, he probably would be one of the top players of all time, man. He was just something else. Yeah. The day we started, when I realized we were signing him, I probably celebrated the most ever. I was like, "What? We're getting this guy?" Yeah, it's like, yo, that's Jurgen pulled him in. You know what I mean? And see that?
Well, I guess I've got my whole. I just realized I got my. Technically, well, Thiago is from Spain, but he does have Brazilian roots, so I could say a South American midfield.
He was actually born in Italy. He was born in Italy, I'm sure. Yeah, so we could have played for them as well.
Yeah.
His dad was a player. His brother's a player. He's a footballing family. You know what I mean? He's one of them. I'd love to get him in as manager. You gotta watch some of his videos where he's talking about coaching and stuff, bro. He's really.
I thought he was going to actually. I thought he was going to be a coach for us. To be honest with you, you remember talking about Darwin Nunez? Remember the time when Darwin was about to be brought in? Klopp was on the sideline. And he couldn't. He looks at Thiago and says, "Can you explain what we need to do?" And Thiago whispers something to to Nunez, and Nunez is like, "Oh, thank you." He
Remember
understands.
that? Bro?
Yeah,
Klopp
yeah.
was going mad.
And Klopp's like, "What just
Okay,
happened
carry on,
here?"
bro.
Yeah, he's like,
Carry on. Here's the keys.
What just happened?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was awesome.
That was awesome, man.
I miss those kinds of
I
moments.
miss them
Those are
sort of
fun.
camaraderie, them sort of
Yeah.
things where Klopp's running down the line and he's pulled his hamstring and just the way he's just to get the crowd. Have you ever seen Iron Slot really get the crowd going? He's never done it.
No.
He ain't got it in him to do that. See,
Not that
Klopp,
guy.
he was Mr. Show Business, man. He knew what he was doing. He got the fans like, he can't hear. I used to remember there was games where we weren't loud and Klopp would be like, I can't hear. And what would happen? The noise would go up.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. He would just be like, the crowd would respond immediately.
I just got a funny feeling Klopp won't manage again. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just.
Oh no, I don't think so either. I saw a I didn't bookmark it, but I saw a comment by him about what he's experiencing now in life. I'm like, that guy's never giving that up.
That's
And
what I'm
that
thinking.
is, he's talking how he's able to, spend time with his grandchildren. He wakes up and he's able to go work out, and he's able to spend time with family. He's able to just enjoy life in general, And he's like, it's just he made a point about how it's like it was just everything that was associated to what he was doing now was just empowering. It was enriching his life. I'm not saying that football didn't do that same. I'm just saying that football can be draining at the same time as enriching. You're doing something you love, but it can be something of it's just you're putting so much time and effort into it, the naturalism of it all can take away from your battery. There's none taken away from his though. But all right. See, I told you that was something I thought might be an enjoyable little endeavor there with the midfield. I like the midfields too, by the way. Let me make sure I got this right. So Lantes was Ginny, Stevie, and who was his third? And Fab, right?
Yeah, Fab 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess you're playing 2 8s and a 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your midfield was
Stevie G, Thiago, Henderson.
Okay. Got you. Don't get it twisted too. I know people might be like, "Oh, I picked too many techie players." Look, Mascherano, I think right now he's a coach. He's got football IQ. Don't get it twisted. Mascherano has some football IQ. Oh, look at this!
12 to 10.
Look at this.
Didn't know you were doing one. I've just mentioned you on Brian's because the Chelsea game is 12:30 kickoff, and I said in Arizona for 12, it's going to be 4:30 in the morning, which you think I'm right in saying, yeah? 8 hours time difference. So there that.
Correct, yes.
12:30 kickoff seems too early, doesn't it? But they're a necessary evil of modern football, aren't they? For the advertising and all that stuff. Like,
League game over to keep you awake, bro.
It's gonna be a wild one. Trust me. To stay up for that one.
We're gonna win though.
Here, I'll let you lead. This is something I don't know if you saw what we just did, but we did this. We asked the question of who would be if you could have, and this is healthy. There's no injury record, injury proneness, none of that stuff. Just as in 3 players, you can bring them back to be your midfield. Of these 9 players, who would be your midfield?
I would say Mascherano, Alonso, and Cassini. No, sorry, I've got to include Stevie J. Haven't I in a 3-man midfield? So it would have to be. I would go for Mascherano, maybe Gerrard and Cassini to have like that number 10. Because Xabi would have to sit here out, even though he could be on you. only 3 places in the 4-3. Double pivot, Mascherano and Gerrard with Coutinho rampaging ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mascherano, Stevie, and you said Ginny?
Like Gerrard, Mascherano, Coutinho.
Stevie and Mascherano as the pivot, and Coutinho in the modern formation of
My
4-3.
Coutinho, my fault. My Coutinho, yes.
Yeah, to have an attacking dude, like, and we'd have to have where it's like off the striker in that formation or something like.
Okay. I was just wondering, it's interesting because Xabi Alonso and Milner are the only 2 people that didn't get picked in any of the combos. But still, that's no slot against them.
It is crazy to remember that Xabi Alonso's the person who succeeded Ancelotti came from Everton. He was at Everton before he went back and out Madrid out. It's like every time he's appointed the Spaniards in recent years, it hasn't lasted long. Like, there's been a whole host of them. Xabi Alonso's just one. I mean, it was based on like his 2 seasons at Leverkusen, won it like, or was it 3? Or I think he did win it that year when he come in. They were just above the relegation zone, stabilised them, but to the point where he won the Bundesliga for the first time since Jurgen Klopp was Dortmund manager and won it twice in a row. Nobody won it for 13 years, and then Xabi stepped. Or was it 12? Never. Anyway, it was a long time. And he said that, like, Bundesliga isn't easy to win if you're not Bayern Munich. You know, that says it all. That it was like, what, 13 years since someone else won it.
I mean, you're talking about a team like Bayern Munich that just goes out and continues to buy, superstar after superstar. And then basically, even when they're not hogging all the German talent in the league, they're, going over to their rivals and poaching players off of their rosters,
And then they're crying at Liverpool fans because we got words.
Yeah.
You remember that? Did you remember how they were acting?
Yeah.
Same as Arsenal fans. Yeah, get out of here, man.
Yep.
That's why for me, I don't forget any other club. They're all jokers, man. You know what I mean? We can't show them any respect in that way. Like, come on. They all have a go at Liverpool. Every club, Man City, United, Arsenal.
They're only society if they talk. But I mean, we have been trashed this season, coincidentally, so we deserved a good thrashing or thrashing from the tongues of other fans. Like, now you've got to take it in good spirits because we have been undeniably bad this season in a way that we did not foresee this summer when we spent all that money on all these good players. Things just haven't worked out, have they? And to me, it's to the extent where, like, I don't see why he should keep his job, especially not a new contract in 2019, as that article you put in the WhatsApp alluded to, an extra 3 years after this season. Why would you condemn your team to that, an extra 3 years? If at all, it can only be 1. But,
Bless up, Learnshy. Good night, man. And the thing is, Lee, why would you give... Look like for me, Wirtz coming in, I always think Wirtz is going to smash 15 goals, 12 assists or something like that. He's going to smash it. Ozil's going to smash it. And he's only been really, out of all the signings, until recently, Kirkes. And Ekatike has been all right. Not great, but he's been all right. Kirkes, all right. But everyone else, not great. And that's the manager, bro. So I don't want Wirtz.
Kirkes has been the only player I've seen properly develop. Properly develop in this season, I think has been Kirkes. I mean, because Kirkes was not looking like he was struggling with the whole playing 3 times a week. Worried about where he fit in with the back line and figuring out the comfortability and the whole like connections with the back line. He looked like he was struggling in the very beginning. But he has certainly developed into a player that has done, I think, an exceptional job.
And I said when I first seen him play for us, I didn't jump on his back and stuff. I was like, you know what?
That was Bruno G. That was Bruno G.
What's that?
You say you didn't jump on his back. I said, no, that was Bruno G.
But you know, a lot of
Because
fans are
that's
doing it, bro.
remember, that's how he scored. He jumped on his back in the Newcastle game and scored a header.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But fair play to Gurkes. He got the right attitude. He's going to get a rest this summer. Him and Szoboszlai, they're not going to the World Cup. So that will give them two guys a rest to get ready for next season.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's unfortunately for Dominic, I'm sure he wants to play in the World Cup, obviously. But it could end up being a blessing for him to be able to have that summer off.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a newborn child. He's just recently married, I believe, right? It'll be an opportunity for him to spend good quality time with his family and recoup and he could use it with all the mileage that he's put on his legs this season.
Yeah.
He could use it. He could definitely use it. Well,
what do you reckon, Lee, Saturday?
Yeah.
We have to win. Gotta win that. Should do like against 6 times beaten in a row in the league, Chelsea. The only thing punctuating that run is the FA Cup victory over Leeds that took them to Wembley. But 60 defeats on the spin suggested there for the taking. So we better be looking doing that, like to try and put this qualification thing to bed as soon as we can. We can't be running around on bloody away game at Villa, and then must be one. Brentford at home, try and get it. I mean, it won't be shown up if we win, but it will be almost shown up in the way that Arsenal's title will be if they beat West Ham next time out.
Simple as be. If Bournemouth don't win and we win, lost done then.
If Bournemouth don't win, say again.
Yeah, if Bournemouth don't win because they're in 6th. No, they're in 6th. Wait a second.
These next away games follow the Everton draw. Bournemouth away. We got Palace and Villa. I think it's Villa. They go on the last day or someone. Our own. Yeah. So the last away game is this one next Bournemouth. Iola versus this young guy. He's done good in Iola. He was linked to us today. What you have to think of is he put in his experience of 2 years is it in the Premier League's been with Bournemouth up against the Bundesliga experience. It was shabby. His exploits in winning the title for the first time in 13 years from outside of Munich. Not to be underestimated by me. If there's an audition for the job, I'd take that. Real Madrid didn't work out but there's no harm in that because so many Spanish managers don't make it. The last few ones that have tried have been out of the job quickly and replaced by a non-Spaniard. Ancelotti's done. You don't mess around with it. When it comes to things, you don't mess around at all.
Yeah, but it's not really great, is it? Have a bit of a... Yeah, they're the most successful because they're being ruthless. But sometimes, because there was some beef today between Valverde and Tchouaméni, they'll end up getting rid of Tchouaméni because of it. They keep Valverde because he's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need a number 6 anyway. After I've seen Camavinga getting sent off and stuff like that, giving yellow cards away and stuff like that, he does it a few times. I don't want him. Camavinga. No.
Shabby's failure to keep his job and keep the players happy in the way that Zidane and Ancelotti could. I don't see that as a thing to say, don't try him. Look what'll happen. Don't think so, mate. I mean, look, he is quite inexperienced. He had the best part of this season, most of this season, to add to his list of experience. But a red cross at Real Madrid when you're Spaniards yourself isn't that bad. Try and put a green tick back in his thing if we get him as manager. And a loads in ours as well. Chelsea's, I knew it went on beyond 5 because when you look at it, they only give me 5. But I thought there's more to this. This one said, it's 6. It's actually 6. We'll make it 7 if we do them, which cannot be underestimated for its comedy potential.
There was a interesting update that was given out by James Pierce that said the priority for Stefan Bajcetic and Jayden Danns is to be fit for preseason in July before trying to force their way into Arne Slot's plans. After lengthy injury absences, loans in 2026-27, and currently viewed as the most likely outcome for both players, however, not a certainty. So would you loan out if they do get, let's say Jayden Danns and let's say Bajcetic both get past their injuries and they get healthy and they get some quality time on the pitch? Would you loan out players immediately again, or would you look to try to implement them into the team? Anyone can answer that one. I know I'm probably frozen.
Anyone else want to have a stab at that?
No, everyone's scared.
No. For me, I can't say nothing about Bajcetic anymore. You know, it's been a long time, man. The brother ain't played no football in years. So I can't answer that one. Dan's also, for me, loan him out. He needs to be playing regular football. Hopefully he can stay fit as well. He's had a few injury worries, you know what I mean?
Very sure that any young player that falls victim to injuries, and Bajcetic looked good when he come in under Klopp. There's no denying that. He looked like he warranted further exploration. The last time he come in as like a wing back, I think it was, he didn't look very good and soon got injured, and that was him. Done them for us, basically. But he had looked promising both in the six and in the to the left of the six, because even when Fabinho got fit, Klopp stayed with him for a few games in the six. Like, so
I seen him the other day. I seen him on one of the Liverpool FC videos. He was there, smiling and that, training. So I wish him the best, man. I think he's a quality player. So I'd love to see him actually do what he's was born to do. You know, I think he did this one turn in a game once. I think it was Villa away. He just turned his body and like the whole pitch just opened up, and I was like, "Yo,
yeah."
You know what I mean?
Thiago getting up and applauding when he scored that goal in the Europa League, I think it was. And like he controlled it as he come up to the edge of the box, and then just took it onto his left and buried it past the despairing dive of a defender. And it was top notch. Like, yeah, Thiago was a fan of this, like, wasn't he? And said,
he knew he's got quality. That's why.
Yeah, apparently he's done well last season. I think it was last season. Yeah, last season in Spain at the one he's at, which I've forgotten the name, eludes me right now, but where he was at, he was getting rave reviews, pretty much, like saying he's the best player in that position in a lower club. I think he probably went down as well, like, but he tried his best to help them stay up.
How old is he now? Do you know?
Got to be like 22 now, surely.
Yeah, he must be about 22, 23 now, isn't it? It's got to start soon for him.
As well, like Spanish by repatriation or from the Balkans. And he had that Spanish thing given him of being a good ball player. But he could win it. He could win it all right. So he wouldn't have been given license to play 6 months ago. He became fit again. That impressed me, that. And then eventually he moved over to the left. Can't remember who was on the right. But yeah, I had hope for him. And Jay Downs hasn't hardly had some luck in since the Carabao Cup final. Lad's also been cursed by injury. We've got Conor Bradley as well, suffering similarly. Just about all the other lads that are suffering from injuries, like Hugo and whoever else, like, you can make full recoveries. Hugo doesn't take forever because it's just sort of messed that one, like, you know what I mean? So we badly need him when the season kicks off, and he won't be anywhere near ready. When play gets started for the new season, we're going to have to cope without him and count on Alex and anyone else who's around who can play, who can help. Unless
would you bring that Watermaker in from Newcastle?
Probably not. Given if they're not playing, no. Him over still haven't really worked. Now I thought Walter might at the beginning because he scored a few goals and looked half decent, and then he just faded away. Whereas since he's come back from injury, he just hasn't looked as dangerous as he did for Brentford, and they've gone from strength to strength in the absence of him and Embuemo with Igor Jesus and who's the new ones couple, but like he's done so good, Andrews, hasn't he? He's been excellent, Andrews, for Brentford. I thought he'd struggle at the beginning of the season when we said he'd do well, and I thought I would struggle to replace Frank. He's took Frank's barrel up and like ran off with it. Like he's gone even further probably. I've never seen him have such a good season. And they lost him Buemo and Vissa, didn't they? And Norgard was a big player in the midfield. Shipped out to Arsenal, didn't he? Norgard, fella.
Yeah, he's never got the game time.
Yeah.
That was a wrong move for him, you know what I mean?
Callagher, I'm pleased for Callagher that he can be there and they're doing good. It's good for him because he was good for us, like, you know what I mean? Not against him wanting to move on. Don't need him in a while back that Alisson's injury thing was going to make him deteriorate and he could be number one, like as soon as he has been, if he just stayed in the summer and just played this season instead of Alisson. But we've got Mama now, and I'm prepared to have enough faith in Mama to give him a chance, get bloody started before I judge him and say, not up to it. I know he isn't the same type of keeper as Alisson or like someone like Edison for that matter. Not as confident kicking it, but we'll have to work with that. We'll have to work with him and make him better at his kicking, you know, get it, you know, just wherever it's up, you know, onto their wing, either of them. They've got bloody two of them. See who can chase the bloody thing. Lars always said, didn't he? He likes wingers. I think the thing he said was, give me wingers all day and like I'll do a job. And like he had Minter, didn't he, at Feyenoord and someone else. But he needs wingers now, doesn't he, for staying with the 4-3-3 with the inverted left-right thing, Salah one. And despite Rio's emergence, a lot of people are saying we need a left-hand side option as well. Instead of Cody, Agent Cody. So I'm to say good some. Can't say blame him, he's not been great this season, but again, he's suffered from the whole team. Like Salah has got two wide players, but there was no position where if you look at shadows, they form ourselves. There's Mo and Cody, like, because the team underperforming in midfield.
Have you guys heard of this player named Eric Farkas? Farkas. He's a youth academy player for us. Farkas. Farkas.
No, Nightline Sheep. A good one.
No, let me see if I can show you a picture of him. Just wondering if you had heard of this player or not.
Go ahead, I just with the picture.
Whoops. Let me do that. This is the player. He plays. He plays for England actually, as well. He has. He is Hungarian. He's Hungarian born, or is Hungarian, has Hungarian roots, but he plays for England. And I was just wondering if you'd heard of him or not, because there was a tweet that I saw that spoke on him being the Hungarian Coutinho. If not the Hungarian Pedri has been.
What's his first name?
Eric
Farker. Well, familiar with Daniel Farker, the slightly speech impediments, was it Lisp, manager of Leeds. I like Daniel Farker, he's a nice bloke, and he goes, too much, we do this, we do that. It's got a bit of this. She's quite endearing, Daniel Farker.
Oh my goodness.
He's done good. He's staying in the Prem and getting nearly to Wembley was the one step away. But he got to Wembley, didn't he? But not the final. I don't like that. The Wembley semis, it took the shine off the finals, I think. and should be taken back to what it used to be. And the FA Cup final has to be the last day of the season, apart from the Champions League, say, maybe, as it used to be. It'd be FA Cup, then it'd be Europa League, UEFA Cup, sorry, and European Cup, Champions League. You know what I mean? This thing now, like, it is a bit abandoned. It, go back to what we had.
Just wondering, just asking if you'd heard of him. It's very interesting.
Having the Europa League final before the final day of the season was weird last season. But Spurs got the morale boosted easy from seeing off the plucky Red Devils. It's the mighty light and the eternal chagrin. Hey, but they're laughing up this season with no Europe because they've been able to focus, and they went out of both cups quickly, didn't they? Like in quite a lame fashion, so they were able to focus on the league. And they've been able to focus on it better than us anyway. Our gaze was elsewhere at the same time, like, but it sends us up there in the season ahead of us unless something outrageous happens in the last 3 fixtures to both clubs.
Can you believe that Unai Emery, who often is undermined by comments by some of these content creators online that I see, because I saw the Football Terrorists absolutely put him down as a coach. But this will be his 6th Europa League final with his 4th different team. That is pretty wild to hear. And of those 5 previous ventures, he has won 4 out of 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time he didn't win was with Arsenal, right? Didn't he get to Europa?
Yeah, he lost to the Chelsea bloke at the time, who was someone I forgot who done him as Chelsea boss. He lost the Arsenal job, didn't he? But he didn't like him anyway. The Arsenal fan, thought he lost the final. It was the one when we scored, like we played Chelsea in the Super Cup, wasn't it? Was it him? Siggy man, was he Siggy Ball? What was he called? Italian thing, but what was his name? That Italian guy for Chelsea, and he had a Siggy, like he was a Siggy bloke, Italian Siggy bloke. Can't remember.
What I was going to ask is, if he were to win a 5th Europa title, would he be considered one of the elite coaches in Europe, or is he still going to be looked at as being a, underappreciated 2nd-tier style coach? No takers on that one.
I'm willing to put enough faith in Alonso to fix this, because I think fix it in a satisfactory enough manner for us to go forward next season and prosper. Especially in midfield, if he thinks this midfield is going to be good enough next season, or even a slight variation to it, then he's dead wrong. He needs to get some help in ASAP that can help what good players we do have in that area function better and take the burden off them. Like you said about the stress being on Salah and Gakpo, us looking bereft of ideas at times. The pair of them outmarked by these respective fullbacks on the day. Man City, that was obvious when Mo got pocketed by that O'Brien bloke, the young one.
Okay.
For me, Emery, bro, if it was Champions Leagues he was winning, 4 with different teams or whatever it is, 5. Yeah, of course. But because it's Europa League, it isn't viewed as the high elite level, you know what I mean? But he's a good manager. He's got great passion. Hasn't been nice to Harvey Elliott, but hey.
The high spot for me with Mo this year in the Champions League was his pen against Galatasaray, where he outrun the fella and kept ahead of him, and the fella tried to go down, like he dragged him down, but the ref was right there, so there was no such thing. He carried on and got a penalty.
Yeah.
I think he scored.
There's also been after the results for Bayern Munich and PSG, some are calling it the biggest robbery in UCL history. Do you agree that Bayern Munich got robbed in that game? There were some very, very controversial calls. I know that company came out and actually spoke on it. There's the handball by Mendes. That was a handball, in my opinion. And then there was also the handball. I forget what player it was, but it was because it was his own player that kicked the ball. They didn't determine it to be a penalty. Do you know what remember I'm talking about? I think it was Vitinha maybe or something. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that they have that they're right to say what they said?
When I watched the replay, I didn't see the Bayern Munich player handball the ball, and then Mendes sort of whacked the ball with his hand. You know what I mean? So that was jolly.
I'm not sure it was included on the highlights. So all I've seen is that he scored early, and that was it. And Bayern got level, like right up to death. But I mean, at the death, there was never any real life in there going through. So if that handball was a bad one, it's cost them, man, because there's only like one goal in it.
Yeah,
in
it happened pretty early as well, about 20 minutes or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah, the finish was nice, but it was a lovely setup from Kvaratskhelia. That was all about him. And Dembele's finish, but it emphasised the class they have and the class Arsenal have got to try and contain, like when the final happens in Budapest.
Yeah, PSG were great. They're going to be American.
I wonder what his back four will be for Budapest. Arteta. Probably be Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and maybe Adams again. Yeah, Calafiori's a bit better going forward than Ben White. He's got that good technique if he's allowed to wander forward. But there you go. Yeah, that's what I reckon he'll do. Probably knowing Arteta for the final against PSG. Can't see him got more attacking. Like I think he'll settle for that. He likes that one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Look, bro, we beat Arsenal and drew with them this season. PSG beat us 4-0 in 2 games, so work that one out.
Julian Timbers, another centre back.
Good player.
Awful centre back, and we were linked with for Arsenal swoop.
We should have
the other bloke wanted beginning to say what was that fella that Leverkusen, the South American, what was his name?
Grimaldo, isn't
it? No,
Gutierrez, I think. Begins with G. He's a good player. Good player.
No, it was Arsenal's left centre back, or wing back, whatever the bloody hell he is. He was at Leverkusen, he's left footed, and we were linked with him.
Oh, Hincapié,
that's not Hincapié. I think he's, what nationality is he?
He's
Venezuelan.
I think he's Ecuador, isn't he?
Ecuadorian. Okay, so
is he Ecuadorian 12? Hincapié.
Who's this? Hincapié?
Hincapié.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. There's a few Ecuadorian players. Some of them have done well. Some of them have been good players, like as you could say.
Yeah.
What Arsenal did well was sort of get a lot of defensive players in to cover a lot of positions. You know what I mean? We could have got Hincapié in. He would have been perfect for us.
He would have been. That was a poor choice.
Well, it was been better then, though. It means Virgil playing on the right, but it's not on the guy. He does it at Holland sometimes with that guy on his side. or with another left footer. No Van der Ven, isn't it? He's left footed. So he does it for Holland. He could easily do that, although he is supreme in that spot. He's good enough that you could move him with a left footer and still get away with it. Like, you know what I mean? He's got to be on the could step aside, so to speak. Just one with the left foot. To the company was about just this season. Endo came in, got injured. That's the luck we've had this season in defence. Bad luck.
There was a question on the overlap that was very interesting. It wasn't about Henry, but it was about Mohamed Salah and whether he is now the all-time great Premier League right wing. Premier League, by the way, not all-time England, but Premier League all-time greatest right wing. Obviously, Ronaldo got thrown out there as being the choice of being by I think it was by Adam, who's a Manchester United fan, but he was quickly detached from that by being reminded that Ronaldo is a great player, but yet, you know, the bulk of his greatness happened when he was at Real Madrid, not when he was at Manchester United.
Yeah.
So, and the sheer fact that Mohamed Salah has had 8 years, let's call it that, because this last ninth year has not been his greatest. Still got over 10 GA, which is still a good season for Salah.
In 2008 to take them to the thingy on penalties in Moscow, Ronaldo. But like apart from that, his main things Madrid won it. But he was good for United and got on the Madrid move, and he got that in because they haven't had their hands on it as often as us. Like so, that made it 3 for them, didn't it? With the 99 combined.
Yeah. Would you call Manchester United an elite European team, a European elite? I think is what the word is.
None of our rivals have. What was I going to say?
They're an elite club, but not an elite team. You know what I mean?
None of our rivals, right, have won. United specifically, not won it in my life. 199, 68 was like 5 years before I was born. So you got 5 full years there. So I've seen him get it in 99, 2008, and they were both like a dagger to me heart. Horrible stuff. And thank God that they've only won it half as many times as we have. And Forest the third as many on 2. Ahead of Arsenal and Chelsea, I suppose. And now Chelsea have got 2 now, haven't they? To bring up the rear end of the lower end of the scale.
Yeah. But I was just wondering if you thought they were a European elite. That's what the football terrorist is.
So that's probably the greatest player in the Premier League history.
Called them European elite, meaning like he's not talking about their accomplishments in England. He's talking about their accomplishments in the Champions League because what they were, it was in Arsenal's conversation going to the finals and everything else, and he referenced his club as being European elite, and it kind of like when he said it, I was like, I know they've got Champions League titles. I get that. But I wouldn't call them Champions League elite. Like I wouldn't call them a European elite team per se, but maybe you would.
Yeah, that's what I was on about. Like club, yeah, they got the structure and all that, but as a team, no. Under Ferguson, yeah, both club and team were big time.
Yeah, Matt Busby set them up as big in Europe. He was our captain years ago, wasn't he? And he was a bloody good player. I think he was a nice man, something like, but I don't know much about him really. Bobby Charlton was a nice man. He was a nice man. Very much a football man, but a friendly, nice man. Like, irrespective. Yeah, I heard Man City fans like ripped on him or something when he died. I was like, why would you do that about Bobby Charlton?
Excuse me.
I was dying specifically, not about his hair when he was like 28. Do you know what I mean? Thought that was just like in bad taste and uncalled for.
Happened against United against us. They were singing bad stuff. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the
Terrible.
comments that they made about Jota? Are you mentioning that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that
But like,
was.
come on,
that was
man. What's that
just-
all about?
Yeah.
This is Shankly's story where Shankly appeared at the kitchen window of Bobby Charlton's house, and it was Bobby Charlton's wife who saw him. Thought, who's this fella at the window? Because it's at the back of his house, and it was Shankly come round to talk about football with Bobby Charlton. And it went off nicely, apparently. And I thought, oh, that's such a lovely story between the two fellas. Like, but he was really good, really good. He good Bobby Charlton, more than just a powerful shot. Very good player.
I didn't know if you believe that or not. I don't think that they're European elite. I think they're elite in when it comes to England football, but when it comes to the European stage or European the European stage, or I don't think that they're elite.
Well, 3 titles, bro. It's good. You know what I mean? But it isn't. Wow.
It
It
isn't.
isn't like us
I don't think
buying
it's
AC Milan.
elite. That's
Wow.
what
Celtic beat United to be in the first British team to win the European Cup. United were, of course, the first English team to win it, but it did come after a series of like bad finals that like had Inter in them, like rip off, pay the ref Inter, who ripped us off and paid the ref in '65. Did the same to Dortmund before. Different stick with Dortmund. There was no subs there, and they kicked the Dortmund player off the pitch so severely they couldn't carry on. No subs, and they won the match. Against us, they paid 2 of the goals were from indirect free kicks. And he kicked it out the goalie's hands as well, which is never allowed. George Best had tried it for Northern Ireland in a game recently, and the ref didn't let him do it. As he bounced it, he took it away and scored. The ref used to Mendebele, a Portuguese man whose son had cancer, and Inter Milan picked up the tab for cancer because there mustn't be an NHS in Portugal, I'm assuming, and they picked up the tab, and that sorted us. Yeah, they paid his goal as well. 66, they tried it again, and it was a Hungarian ref who said no. Georgi Vardas refused all technological blandishments hitherto unknown to people in them days. He said, no, I'm going to ref it straight. And Real Madrid won the subsequent final. They were actually, you know what I mean? For all the clubs for that to happen to, for the ref not to be bent, you have to be Real and bloody Madrid. They already have 5.
Before I get hear United fans say something about me saying what I just said, the reason why I'm saying that is because I just think you have to be, for you to be European elite, you'd have to be top 5, not top 10. You'd have to be top 5 because not many teams have won the Champions League, period. So, I mean, like, I get that. But at the same time, would you say Ajax is European elite?
Yeah. And just the Dutch thing of
you would say that Ajax are European elite. They haven't been to a Champions League final in decades.
Yeah.
No, but like on the old days, like because like
they got 3 in there.
They were unlucky not to win 74 in West Germany. They were so good, weren't they? The one when I was a kid was Hullet and Van Basten, and they did us in.
I'm not trying to put out how old you are, but you're saying those. You said when you were a kid. It's been a little while since you've been a kid, just like myself. It's been a while since I've been a kid too.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, there's a difference between a club and a team. For me, Ajax is a European great elite. You know what I mean? When you think of European, You think of AC Milan, you think of Ajax, you think of Liverpool. So for me, Ajax, yeah, even United, bro, 3 titles is big, but I just don't put them because we're better than them. We've got 6. You know what I mean? I think if they were leading the English teams with 3 and we only had 1 or whatever, yeah, fair enough. You could put them in there because we've got the 6. We're the top dogs. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that's the point, is that they're European elite, yet, you know, if they're European elite with 3, then what's that make us with 6?
The first team to win the European Cup in Holland. Where did they won it before Ajax and PSV? It was in all of them finals. Who were a Holland's club, weren't they, before they like took off to superstardom? It was finals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That is right. I meant to say that there was a foul. I forgot to mention the fact that Diaz got fouled on. There was a foul on Diaz, like right outside the box, and rather than give, it wasn't going to be a penalty shot, so it wasn't going to be a penalty kick. But rather than give Lucho or give Byron a kick or a direct kick from outside the box, they chose to say that Lucho handled the ball with his hands and because Lucho got angry, he gave him a yellow card too after that as well. There was a lot of bad calls in that game, I think, to be honest with you. A lot of like very, very touchy calls. There's some people that think that PSG was willed into by UEFA into getting into the Champions League final. I'm not saying that myself, but there's some people that have been insinuating that. All right, we're almost at 2 hours. This show was only supposed to be an hour, and we were just talking football, just talking about whatever we wanted to end up speaking on. There was no real agenda for today's show, much like really there's no real agenda for most of our shows, just friends sitting around talking some football, hopefully having you in the audience join in the conversation and doing what it is, which is what we do. There is, let's see, I've got 3 little quick shouts for our moment of Red Zen. So before I do that, let me ask the panel if there's anything else that they wanted to talk about before we wrap up. Is there anything on your mind that you want to talk about? Or did you just want to say?
There's some hope on the horizon for the team, regardless of who's managing. It's like in August when everything kicks off. I hope there's a bit of hope in there somewhere, like that we can improve. So we need to improve quite a bit, don't we, to be more competitive next season.
Oh my goodness gracious! Sorry, I just saw something. I'll include it into the moment of Red Zen, even though it's not a moment of Red Zen, but I'll say it before I get into it. Anything you want to say, Nalante, or anything you want to say, JK? Anything you want to talk about, or anything you want to say?
Not much for now. Big up everyone in the chat. Check out my roundup on my channel Nalante. Check that out. Just a preview of previous games and the Chelsea game, and yeah, just big up everyone, and yeah, man. My quest for Joey G's goal might come true on Saturday. Who knows?
Okay. JK, you wanted to say something? Yes, no, yes. No.
JK's washing the dishes.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe he's doing something like that. Yeah. I think it's his birth. I think it's one of his dog's birthdays. I think so. Maybe he's handling them. I will say this too. I'll bring this up as well. Some really cool stuff here. Bring up some of these little quick hitters. This is wild. Apparently, there is a poll. There is an online poll being conducted. Online petition, excuse me, not even a poll. An online petition to get Mbappe out of Real Madrid. It has gotten over 40 million signatures. I just don't understand. Mbappe is, I don't know why Mbappe is so hated by Real Madrid fan base. That is wild, absolutely incredibly wild. There is something else I wanted to share with you guys that I saw that was pretty cool, and that is this is being leaked as our possible away kit for next season. This is being reportedly leaked as being our away kit for next season. I think if that's the case, that's cool. I think that's a pretty nice looking. I like the white with red. That pops. Interesting, and I like even the V-neck collars are actually pretty cool too. I like that, decent. So maybe I don't know if you guys enjoyed that or not. Before we get into the heart of our moments of Red Zen here, I'd like to say happy birthday to Agent Cody. It was his birthday, I believe yesterday, if not it was like today technically, or yesterday technically, but today we can celebrate it too. Happy birthday to Cody. I think Cody has actually stepped up as of late. This is obviously him in his native orange kits for his home country, but I think that he has stepped up for us as of late. He's been playing well. He's been playing in a role for us that some people don't necessarily want to see him in, but he has been stepping it up somewhat. And I hope that it continues to go, because for a player that has been arguably the hands-on favorite as the biggest scapegoat all season, he's been absolutely ridiculed. And
I don't say nothing about this guy because, like, for me, top professional, played great against United. I reckon he's probably him, Szoboszlai, probably our best players. Scored against United. He loves scoring against United.
Possibly.
Good lad, and a happy birthday to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. And let me say this. There was a movie in 2006 named The Devil Wears Prada. Apparently, Anne Hathaway starred in it. Obviously, she's the star of this new one as well. Anne Hathaway is a very, very devout Arsenal fan. I guess we just gotta hope that they don't come up with more Devil Wears Prada movies.
In the same way that Stephen Graham said Leonardo DiCaprio is a Liverpool fan after working with him on Gangs of New York.
Okay.
That's what he says. Yeah.
Who, Lee?
Stephen Graham, the Liverpool actor, who was in Snatch, was Tommy. That fella. Yeah.
Well, the reason why I was just bringing this up because it was 2006 when Devil Wears Prada, and that was the last time Arsenal reached the Champions League final. It's a weird coincidence that Anne Hathaway's Devil Wears Prada is out again in theaters in 2026, and Arsenal has reached the Champions League final. Let's hope.
Stallone was coached to Goodison Park by Bill Enright, the ex-Everton chairman, God rest his soul, who coaxed Sylvester Stallone to turn up at Goodison Park and make it look like he was an Evertonian. I know he was in goal and escaped to victory, but I don't think he knows one end of the pitch from another, really, like, because he's not interested. I don't know, might be wrong. Half Italians might be into it. I doubt it though with Sly. Doubt he was a footy head on the Sly.
Okay.
Look,
Well,
bro.
all the same. All the same. I just want to say, I hope there's not a Devil Wears Prada 3. How about that?
Yeah, but the thing is, bro, look what happened after the first one. Yeah, Arsenal reached the final. That film was made, but they lost. So
Yeah,
God always wins. You know what I mean?
maybe. All right. My final take or my final moment of Red Zen was just going to be a little look back at a time when this team was possibly one of the most unified states of our existence with this club. It was a beautiful time because it was a time that a lot of people had us out, down and out, and with no chance. But let's leave you with this memory. Look at those guys on that line, send to the cop, showing their love, showing their appreciation, being serenaded back.
Time
their
capsule.
appreciation. Go ahead, Lee.
Time capsule only battered by the scoreline at full time in Istanbul when we played AC Milan. That's the next best thing.
Yeah. It's certainly it ranks up there though. I have to say this moment definitely ranks up there. Because I think that I know that it was a halftime difference in for us to come back against AC Milan, but Barcelona absolutely, put one on us when we went to their grounds, the Camp Nou, and
I thought their exit
and there was
season was a bit feeble. Barca when Inter managed to do them. They were a bit better against Atletico, but still we're up to the task. I haven't had any confidence in them in the Champions League since the financial thing. Despite them signing Lewandowski and other players on the cheap, and getting Rafinha quite cheap, I haven't felt confident in them being able to win the Champions League and might make it to final.
What is Lee 3001, by the way?
Well, you'd have to have a thing now next to your name where it's like numbers or a word. And what was it before? It'd be me, like 3 words squashed together. It'd be me to state the bleeding obvious that it was me, right? But it changed Brian's behest, because on Brian's there were 3 Lees in the chat, and he said, one of you should change it. There's too many Lees. So I went ahead and changed it.
I thought maybe you're just trying to be one better than Andre 3000 or something from Outcast. That's why I was just wondering.
Yeah. I thought it 2001 Space Odyssey, but me in 3001, an extra 1,000 years on.
Extra 1,000 years later. I got you.
Years on. Artisan Clark and all that palaver.
Well, there you have it. All right. Well, to all the Devil Wears Prada fans out there, and more importantly, to all those that never give up on this and believe we can get a result against a very, 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 very struggling Chelsea team. We need this.
Losing streak worth of struggling, only briefly punctuated by the FA Cup victory over Leeds. If we can't beat these, then we need to have a serious word with Mr. Ari Slot, Esquire.
I think that serious conversation should have been had months ago. So,
players to versus Jesus scored at the end of that game and still capable of getting a goal. And we'll have to look after the good players that you've got and not switch off to beat them.
All right, people. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll have a Chelsea preview set up for you tomorrow. I believe we'll have the Chelsea preview set up tomorrow. I had another episode, but I think I'll hold off on dropping that episode just yet. And hopefully you'll be with us. Hopefully Nolante will be with us, and Lee and JK. I might even have I'm going to reach out and have a new a newly formed friendship with another Red to possibly join us on tomorrow. See if he's available. But hey, let me say this. I hope that everyone stays blessed, and I hope that everyone still remains a Red at heart always, because I would have to set up the Reds each and every time. And I hope that your day is well, and I hope that your morning is even better. So take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.